Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. Children, when you know better, you can do better. So, whenever you have a chance to learn something new, explore it and enjoy it. In today's class, we are going to see about the revenue policy under the British rule, its merits and demerits, and how the peasants revolted. Before the British came to India, rural life was simple with very few requirements. The Indian villages were self-sufficient and disputes were settled by the village panchayats. Who are peasants and what do they do? The peasants cultivated their land and used some of their produce as payment of revenue to the rulers. Why do people pay tax to the government? People pay tax so that the government can spend the money collected on the development of the country. How is tax connected to revenue? The tax is a source of revenue for the government. Who do you think will collect revenue in the villages? It was collected by the village headman or intermediaries. When did this old system abandoned? Children, when the British came to power, the new revenue system was implemented, and this system brought many changes in the economic and social conditions of the peasants. The British introduced three major land revenue system in India. They were permanent settlement, Mahalvari System and Rayatwari System. Because of the economic exploitation, it led to the revolt in future. Children, shall we learn about the types of land revenue policy in detail? They are the permanent settlement, which was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. The Rayatwari System was introduced by Thomas Munro, and the Mahalvari System was introduced by Lord William Bentinck. Now shall we learn about the permanent settlement? When Lord Cornwallis became the Governor General, he introduced a land revenue system in 1793 and called it as permanent settlement, and he implemented this system in Bengal, Bihar and Orissa, Varanasi, and northern Karnataka. It was known by different names like Zamindari, Jagirdari, Malguzari and Biswadari. Children, now let's learn about the features of this system. The first feature is the Zamindars are allowed to collect the revenue from the farmers and pay the revenue to the company. That is, they pay it to the East India Company. The Zamindars acted as an agent of the government for the collection of revenue. And the third one is the amount to be paid was fixed for 10 years and could not be increased. The Zamindars could retain a small amount of the revenue collected by himself. The judicial powers were taken from the Zamindars. Now let's see about the merits. Forests and wastelands became cultivable lands. Zamindars became the owner of the land and was made free from the responsibility of providing justice. They remained faithful to the company. Now let's see about the demerits of this revenue system. British government had no direct contact with the peasants. Rights of the cultivators was ignored. They were lethargic and luxurious. Conflicts arose between the Zamindars and the peasants. Next, children, we will see about the Rayatwari system. This system was introduced by Thomas Munro and Captain Reed. In the year 1820. This system was introduced in Madras, Bombay, parts of Assam and Coorg. The ownership was handed to the peasants and the British directly collected the tax. One half of the produce was fixed as rent, and later the governor Thomas Munro fixed it as 1/3 of the produce. The revenue collected was based on the type of the soil and the nature of the crop. Now shall we learn about the features of the Rayatwari system. Revenue system was directly done with ryots. An estimate of produce was calculated. The government exploited the farmers instead of the zamindars. Now shall we learn about the Mahalvari system. Mahalvari system was the brainchild of Holt Mackenzie and it was introduced in the Ganga Valley, Northwest Province and parts of Central India and Punjab in 1822. And Lord William Bentinck suggested few changes in this system. Assessment of revenue was to be made on the basis of the produce of a mahal or village. All the proprietors of the mahal were responsible for the payment of the revenue. Children, who is a lambradar? He is a village headman. The village as a whole, through its headman, is responsible for the payment of the revenue. What are the features of Mahalvari system? The lambradar acted as intermediaries between the government and the villagers. One person could hold a number of villages. And let's see about the effects. The lambradar enjoyed privileges. No benefits to the cultivators. And this system benefited the upper class in the village.
Children, now let's see about the Peasants Revolts. The British rule in India brought about many changes in the agrarian system in the country. The old agrarian system collapsed, and under the new system, the Zamindars tried to extract as much as they could from the cultivators of land.
The life of the peasants was extremely miserable. The various peasants' movements and uprising during the 19th and the 20th centuries were in the nature of a protest.
That's all for today's class. I have sent a video for more information about the topic. For today's homework, write the merits and demerits of the permanent settlement in your 120 pages ruled classwork. Thank you, children.